The whole lesson talks about environmental concepts like biodiversity, Earth as a living organism, Earth democracy, ecological sustainability, etc. Everything I need to know I learned in the forest. Summary in English. In the first part of the lesson, the writer narrates how she learnt the basic principles of ecology. She says that her study of ecology started in the forests of the Himalaya because her father was a forest conservator. Hence, she declares that whatever she knows about ecology was learned from the Himalayan forests and ecosystems. Incidentally, her mother, who was brought up in Lahore, which became Pakistan later, settled in India after partition and became a farmer. In the next few paragraphs, she narrates the history of Chipko movement. It was a non-violent response to the large-scale deforestation that was taking place in the Himalayan region in the 1970s. In this context, Vandana Shiva tells us that her involvement in the contemporary ecology movement began with the Chipko movement. During this period, the peasant women from the Garhwal Himalaya had come out in defense of the forests, protesting against the ruthless cutting down of trees on a large scale for logging. This had resulted in landslides and floods, scarcity of water, fodder and fuel. Consequently, women had become the worst sufferers because they were in charge of fulfilling the daily requirements for cooking, washing and other household chores. They had to walk long distances for collecting water and firewood, which was a heavy burden. Fortunately, the women had realized that the forests were the real source of springs and streams, food for their cattle and fuel for their hearths. Therefore, the women declared that they would hug the trees, and the loggers would have to kill them before killing the trees. They appealed to the loggers not to cut them. In 1973 she went to the Himalaya to visit her favorite forests and swim in her favorite stream. She wanted to see these spots before leaving for Canada to do her PhD, but the forests were not there and the stream had become a trickle. It was at this moment that she decided to become a volunteer for the Chipko movement. She spent every vacation doing padayatra, walking pilgrimages, documenting the deforestation, the work of the forest activists and spreading the message of Chipko. Next, the author narrates the Chipko action that took place in the Himalayan village of Adwani in 1977. She recalls how a village woman named Bakni Devi led a movement of resistance against her own husband, who had obtained a contract to cut trees. When the logging officials arrived at the forest, the women held up lighted lanterns although it was broad daylight. The forester admonished them. In the next section, titled Beyond Monocultures, Vandana Shiva tells the readers that she learned about biodiversity and biodiversity-based living economies from the Chipko movement. Further, she remarks that our failure to understand biodiversity and its many functions is the root cause of the impoverishment of nature and culture. Then she says that the lessons she learned about diversity in the Himalayan forests she transferred to the protection of biodiversity on her farms. She started saving seeds from farmers' fields and incidentally realized that they needed a farm for demonstration and training. This led to the establishment of Navdanya Farm. She declares that now they conserve and grow 630 varieties of rice, 150 varieties of wheat, and hundreds of other species. She proudly says that they practice and promote a biodiversity-intensive form of farming that produces more food and nutrition per acre. Annually, she observes,